takes it, runs right, cuts left, he goes in, touchdown! What a play! A direct snap to Nick Chubb with Brissett flanking out wide to the right. Chubb with a step right, came back left, dropped those shoulders and went in. Brissett shotgun from inside the 5 at the 4.5, takes the snap, looking, he's got Cooper left corner, caught it, touchdown!
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Busy Tuesday, November 1st, Corey. We got trade.
Yes, it is.
Trade just happened. Everyone's called the Nick Chubb trade. I consider it the Chase Edmonds trade, actually.
The Bradley Chubb
Chubb trade, yeah. What a weird thing. Like, you know, when these guys sign contracts and someone goes after them and they're like, hey, we spent money on Chase Edmonds, you think to yourself, they're going to run him. And instead, they ran him out of town. And now Chase Edmonds has a new home. It's
different kind of running.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about this Chase Edmonds deal here.
Nothing.
Really?
What are we doing? We're going to go to – we're not going to go there looking for offensive production.
But, I mean, you're going to the Broncos, and the Broncos have had this rotating, not great, nobody's excited about.
And he'll be the next guy in there. Next man up. The next
Matt Murray.
Next ham sandwich up.
No, come on.
You
You
know
we don't like Chase Edmonds?
What is he going to do? What's the best case scenario for Chase Edmonds as a member of the Denver Broncos?
I would say, well, see, look, I'm always playing the end game. I'm playing like weeks 14, 15, 16. He's going to carve out some time. And, you know, his best case snenario is what Javonte Williams is going to be. Basically,
okay, so
split time with Melvin Gordon.
If you have the roster real estate, go for it. If you don't have the roster real estate, you got to make it to 15, 16, and 17 first.
Right.
Is he going to help you make it there? That I would be worried about.
See, for me, it goes back to like, he's good, right? Like I consider Chase Edmonds good. I think he just couldn't figure out that, or maybe couldn't figure out it wasn't a good fit, or they just loved Mostert so much because he loved that system that he knew. And it's just like, Edmonds, hey man, it's not going to work out. Let's send you somewhere where it'll work out, man. Look at this, Denver.
We've had some running back surprises. We've had some running back saviors pop so far this season. Foreman, you know what I'm saying, and whoever, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Guys that have popped. We talked about him yesterday. I'm not going to put Chase Edmonds in that mix. I don't think that could be the case. I'm not saying don't go grab him if he's on the wire. Please don't trade for him. Whatever you do with Chase Edmonds, the most important thing you need to do is temper your expectations.
I want to get into this. Maybe we should just get into this now because this is a big deal. A lot of people are they're running their waivers tonight. And I've seen this question several times today. Dallas DST, Corey.
Yeah, don't drop him.
I was going to say, where's that line, right? Like, where, like, I think that, oh, man.
I put him on my
Drake
bench.
London.
I put him on the bench, and I'm using another. Thankfully, it's a team where I had to pick up. I had a bye last week with my team kicker. So I had to roster 2 team kickers.
Yeah.
So I'm dropping that one to pick up a defense with Dallas on the bye this week. I would not drop the Dallas Cowboys defense this week. I wouldn't do it. If you can avoid that, try to avoid that.
Right, but how, like, I'm saying, like, Drake London? Do you drop Drake London and you're like, oh, screw it?
I would be optimistic on London if the Falcons are throwing the ball more. So I would try not to drop Drake London.
All right, we'll get to that. Like, I'm trying to find that Chase Edmonds.
Would you? I don't. Chase Edmonds is not important to me, but he's healthy running back, so tough to drop him.
Yeah. Wow, Jay Glazer. Did you see this in the back?
Yeah. How about
Jay Glazer reporting the Jags are trading for Calvin Ridley. Ridley's still suspended for the rest of the year for gambling on NFL games.
So now they have Christian Kirk. They'll have Calvin Ridley.
Zay Jones.
I don't know if
Zay Jones.
So they're putting together some nice pieces around Lawrence, looking for him to go into his 3rd year with a solid receiving core and Travis Etienne. The Jacksonville Jaguars are talented, right?
Yeah.
The problem is Doug Peterson.
No.
And see, here's the thing.
We loved him 4 weeks ago.
No, but let me explain why. Exactly. Everybody, I got the Jaguars to win the South. Guess who's going to win the South? The same team that won it last year and the year before that, Tennessee Titans. So
look at
now
this.
Jeff Wilson to Miami.
Of course, man. This guy's just collecting his old players.
Yeah, exactly. I could have guessed. If you was to tell me Jeff Wilson got traded, I'd say to Miami.
Might as well get Tevin Coleman too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they may have him already. Let's on Ridley right quick first.
All right, yeah, we got a few. We got a lot to get to.
Peterson is
and
coaching.
we got game balls later.
Yeah, we got game balls today.
Okay, go ahead.
Peterson is coaching Jacksonville like they're a team that can win the championship this year. They just got the first pick in the draft. They're the opposite.
Yeah.
Don't go for it on 4th and whatever with Jacksonville. They're not that good yet. You want Jacksonville to get some wins and get the experience of winning football games underneath their belt. Don't get too cute with the Jaguars. So I'll say that about Peterson. Jeff Wilson to Miami, healthy body.
Good. I mean, he's good when he plays. You know what I mean? Like when Jeff Wilson starts and plays, and he's done it a bunch.
You may have. I agree with you on that. Now you know he's on the waiver wires. He's on some waiver wires too. So you could listen to $1 make you holler on Wilson. I don't mind that. $2 make you holler on Wilson. I don't mind that.
I mean, the logic behind
once again, he's not going to he's not going to do what Tony Pollard did last week. He's not going to be what Deonta Foreman is though. So if you're looking for that, temper expectations.
Just because you mentioned Dante Foreman, are we worried about Chuba Hubbard? Or is he just like, no, man, this is Foreman's back?
Yeah, I think this is Foreman. If Hubbard, you know what I'm saying, could get some carries here and there and could fit in here or there, but that's interesting. If you're a Calvin Ridley dynasty guy, you feel good about landing spot. Young quarterback, we think it's going to be a good young quarterback in an offense with some talented pieces. You get Ridley. Is Ridley from Georgia? But still, you know,
close enough. Georgia's actually closer, yeah.
Close enough, you know what I'm saying? He's still in a comfortable environment. Now, remember he had that stuff last year, but he wasn't, you know, he was dealing with some depression.
Right.
Obviously, hopefully he gets through that and comes into next season a new player. Well, not a new player, but the old player.
Right.
Who we all fell in love with, and we bought his red, white, and blue prism. With that being said, interesting day of NFL moves.
Yeah. So we got some game balls to get to. I actually want to go through a little exercise with you. Maybe we'll do a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow. Like based off remember the Kirk Cousins lottery numbers? Like Powerball's like $1.2 million. Yeah. I want to go through some teams or maybe like some fandoms. Like if you're the Yankees, what are the Powerball numbers you're playing? If you're a big Yankees fan, like you're playing 4, right? You're playing 3. You're probably playing 7. You're probably playing 2. You got to find a better way to do this, right? Like there's too many low numbers on it. 23, right?
2 and 23, I would say. That's my era. What was 42? 42.
Let's see, 42, yeah. But I mean, like, look, so you got 2, you got Jeter, you got 3 Babe Ruth, you got 4 Lou Gehrig, you got 7 Mickey Mantle, you got 23 Don Mattingly, 27 championships, 42 for Mariano Rivera. That's one too many numbers, I think, for Powerball.
Wait a minute. Who was that? Who was number 3 that you mentioned?
Oh, you're right. I should with the silly me.
Yeah.
There's no number 3 on the Yankees.
There's no number 3 on the Yankees. Well, it's never been a legendary Yankee to win number 3.
This actually isn't bad.
Silly you, Nando.
2, 4, 7, 23, 27, and 42, right?
15 is interesting. Thurman Munson.
Who do you want to take out?
Number 3.
We already did.
We took number 3 out. Who you got? I don't know.
I got Jeter. I guess you could take Gehrig out. How you take Lou Gehrig out of a Yankees Powerball ticket? Today.
Yeah.
We're not taking out Madden. I guess, we can take out the 27. Do we need the 27 championships in there?
I mean, it ain't mean nothing since 2019. If you still talk about 27 over a decade later, you can take 27 out.
All right, so we'll do 2, 4, 7, 15, 23, 42.
Yeah.
What's your Powerball? Which is the Powerball one?
Maybe you make 27 the Powerball.
No, I think you got to do 5 of these, then one's a Powerball. Anyway, we can get to it. Oh, 47, Sidney Ponson. I like that. There we go. You can't. I think you can only go up. I think it only goes up to 60 Powerball. I should really find out the rules, but
that sounds like a fun exercise.
Yeah,
I'm not good with numbers of players right off the top of my head, but we can put together some Mount Rushmores of fan bases. Matter of fact, you want to do a Mount Rushmore of your team, your city? Give us a call.
I
You
like
can
that.
pop it in the chat as well.
I like that. And we'll win $1.2 billion together.
Yay!
Yes!
And then we could buy Justin Fields PSA 10s, unlimited Justin Fields PSA 10s.
Justin Fields, this card was bought for $50, I think.
Yeah.
I got the other one for 45, the SGC 10.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool in town, man. This changes everything.
I don't want to go that far and say it changes everything.
Changes everything, Corey.
It's interesting to see them believing in him, getting some weapons, starting to see him throw the football more. So now they're putting him in a position to where you can't play victim with him no more. Or we still gotta baby him. Or can we be like, okay, now you're grown? Right. Because a couple of weeks ago they don't let him throw. He don't have no weapons. He's not being coached right. Now he's being coached right. I would agree. They're adding some more weapons. I would agree. They're letting him throw the football more. He's being productive. As a matter of fact, let the Bears beat Miami this weekend.
I would like to see. So I'm getting my Bears and Carolina schedules mixed up because I've been such a ridiculous rooter for both of them. Carolina has Cincinnati. Bears
Carolina's
have Miami.
going to Cincinnati.
No, this Carolina-Cincinnati win looks a little easier, right?
After last night,
dude,
I would write last night off as a bad performance by the Bengals offense and defense.
Yeah,
and say that the Bengals will bounce back. I don't want to go automatically to Chase is going and they can't do nothing. This offense was humming before Chase, and I think they'll continue to hum. I think last night was just a pure. It looked like you probably never heard this flu before, but it looked like they had the Cleveland flu.
No, come on, man. You say we were out too late at the horseshoe?
I know, right?
Listen, hey, Chase Claypool. I was going to play the guess how many 100-yard games he's had. He's played in 39 career games, right?
Yeah.
Chase Claypool has never had a game with fewer than 45 receiving yards.
It's not bad.
How about that? I think he's better than we're giving him credit for. And hold on, let me see a snap percentage. That was a 67%, 63s. There's a lot of 63s. All right. This is a fair assessment, I think. Chase Claypool has – go ahead.
I would agree with you. I think it is a fair assessment. Listen, I think he's a talented young player. Is he going to make the Bears a playoff team? Likely not.
Can't be right. Sorry, he has had
real good numbers.
He's got a 17-yard game. The sort is messed up. I don't know what's going on with the sort.
You can see all of his games on one page.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I had to click on the hidden rows. That was a problem. Stupid mobile. Okay, yes. He's had several games with less than 50.
Oh, I'm about to say now. Wait a minute. Now, why are they trading him? He sounds like he's a good deal. If a good bargain.
Okay, hold on. He's still only played 39 games.
He's a good deal as far as trading for him and that contract he has. You get to put a player on a very reasonable contract right into your starting lineup. I'm surprised Pittsburgh will let go of that.
Dude, he's had 27 games out of 39 with 6 or more targets. I think that's impressive. Is that impressive?
Yeah, he played with Ben Roethlisberger too.
He's had 19 with 50 or more receiving yards out of those 39 games.
I am all for Chase Claypool. Is he going to – I don't think he's going to change the Bears' fortunes this season, but he's a nice weapon to go for the young quarterback. Very similar to what, Ridley's a better player than Claypool.
Yeah.
But, it's an upgrade. Maybe the Bears should have went after Ridley.
I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe.
The Bears had the Ridley brother, the other Ridley. Riley Ridley played for the Bears.
Maybe they didn't know he was available.
Yeah, maybe so. Riley should have told him. My brother's out there.
my brother's being shopped around, apparently.
Yeah.
Or maybe Calvin Ridley didn't know.
Yeah, probably not.
That's a weird one because Atlanta's close.
Calvin Ridley.
Atlanta's going to win this division, and they're 7-10 last year. You could see a path to 10-7 maybe this year. Why not hold on to Calvin Ridley?
Probably because it just didn't seem right from the beginning last year. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't seem right. I would probably start. If I was Ridley, I'd want to start over too. And then when you tell me I can go right down the road to Jacksonville,
yeah,
sure, love,
yeah, with Trevor Lawrence.
Yep, mm-hmm.
Not bad. I guess I would take it.
Really college quarterback. Was it Stetson Bennett? Wasn't Justin Fields. Well, it must have been Stetson. Well, it wasn't Stetson Bennett. Well, it's not important.
I can
Who
find
was
out.
Oh, Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm. That was
Oh,
really
how about that? All right, dude.
Yeah,
That's,
Jake from State Farm.
you were throwing out some very odd. Those guesses weren't anywhere close to Jake.
I know,
Fromm.
right? Stetson Bennett, Matthew Stafford. Name every Georgia quarterback I can think of.
This
Wait
works.
a minute. But Calvin Ridley, yeah, I'm tripping.
Want me to look him up?
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley, college ref. I just got to scroll past the humongous annoying commercial first, and then we'll be right there. Calvin Ridley went to Alabama.
Yeah, so his quarterback was not. Why did I think he went? Oh, Riley Ridley went to Georgia. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think you're the only person to confuse those two.
Who, Calvin and Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Ozzie Canseco. All right, here we go. Alabama. His quarterback, his first year was Jalen Hurts.
It was Jalen Hurts and Tua. Jalen Hurts and Tua.
Yeah. His quarterback in 2018, Jalen Hurts and Blake Barnett.
Oh,
and a little bit of Cooper Bateman, who was Rashad's brother. And then 2019, he had Jake Coker and a little bit of Cooper Bateman. So Jake Coker. There you go. Not bad. Not bad.
He must have played a couple games with them because it was probably Jalen Hurts, and then Tua was the year before. Who caught the pass? That was Devontae Smith who caught the pass to win the national championship.
You've already.
I'm going way down. Man. Yeah. I'm back in 20. I'm in like 2017 now, trying to see where I'm at.
By the way, Thor Nystrom is going to be joining us.
A couple minutes.
Yeah, a couple minutes. Well, at some point when Thor's on air, Cam Akers has to get traded, right? Like, there's no way to repair this relationship.
You would think so.
I mean, like what? Like,
unless they're gonna do like Calvin Ridley and trade him next year. But
I don't know, man. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Trade deadline special, right? Corey Nando and friends, trade deadline special.
Yeah, I'm just giving a quick scan to see what's going on.
As the moves comes in, we'll break you up, break you down, give you some off the cuff fantasy advice as these trades go down. We got to talk T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's so Irv Smith out for a while, for I think 8 to 10 weeks. They said with this high ankle sprain thing makes no sense to me anymore, Corey. Like, some dudes are out 2 weeks and like, hey, I'm fine, and then Irv Smith's out 10 weeks. But
it depends on the severity of it. A high ankle sprain is basically a broken leg. You know what I'm saying? It's got the same mechanisms as a broken leg. It's very painful, like a broken leg. When you get a severe one for me, a Nando is probably an 8-week joint. You would think Irv Smith would be able to do it in a month.
Right.
But you never know the severity of the injury.
I guess, yeah, I mean, we shouldn't knock it. I'm just saying, like, this is why injuries are hard to read. One man's high ankle sprain is not the same as another man's high ankle sprain.
Boogie used to get them joints all the time. He used to play ball. And one time he was about to cry. It was I was very sad. Oh. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh,
I'm sorry to hear that.
We had to carry him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was getting ready to cry. It was very sad. And he had to get in the ambulance and go to OW, Orangeburg Wilkinson Regional.
Oh, he had to go to an ambulance for it?
Oh man, this was we didn't like have freshmen. You couldn't have no cars.
Gotcha.
So we had to take him in an ambulance.
That seems a little extreme.
Yeah, exactly. We wasn't gonna call a cab. We ain't had no money to call a cab, so we had to. And then the cab in the Orangeburg took 45 minutes, so we had to get the ambulance to come to Bethea Hall and rush Tyrone off to Orangeburg Wilkinson Medical Center for a high ankle sprain.
Man, do you remember those days? Do you remember I remember when I was living in Hoboken before Uber. Like, you'd call a cab and they'd be like, yeah, 25 minutes, and they would be there in like 45 minutes. And like, why don't I just walk? Like, this is the dumbest thing ever.
Well, see, at least I lived back pre-Uber, I lived in Washington Heights, which was the home of the gypsy cab. You know what I'm saying?
Right, those are always driving by.
Yeah, then you can get one on, you can walk down. You can call a cab. I call a cab in my neighborhood pre-Uber. The cab would be there before I got there. You know what I mean? So it was different in Hoboken. One night we chilled in Hoboken. I took a livery cab from Hoboken to the crib.
Really? Probably wasn't that bad, like $50. You just go up and across the bridge, right?
Yeah, but from Hoboken a little bit further.
I don't know. We got a question from
I would hold on to Melvin Gordon to see what happens. Let's see what happens over the next 40 minutes with Melvin Gordon.
I don't know. You think they're going to trade Melvin Gordon?
You never know.
I guess if you like Latavius Murray, like maybe that's Nathaniel Hackett's guy. Maybe Nathaniel Hackett sweats Chase Edmonds. Maybe he wanted him, and he couldn't get him. Didn't Hackett come out later? Like, because they were They were courting Aaron Rodgers. No, they got Hackett and then they were courting Aaron Rodgers, right? That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't even talked about Nets. We're 20 minutes into the show. We haven't even talked about Steve Nash, and they're going to hire the Boston coach now.
Well, let's spend a couple minutes on that before we get Thor in here. This is why you don't let players be general managers, because it was Kevin Durant who wanted Steve Nash to have this job.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure Kevin Durant helped Steve Nash not have this job. Now, with that being said, to be fair, Steve Nash is an absolute disaster as a head coach. I didn't think he was going to make it through the All-Star break. And Nick is right. They should have kept Kenny Atkinson. That was the man. They should have never traded for James Harden. They made a lot of mistakes with this organization when they brought in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They should have kept the team the same and never should have went and got James Harden when Kevin Durant said, oh, go get James Harden.
Yeah.
Or James Harden want to come here.
Yeah.
Letting Mike D'Antoni being on that staff was very good for Steve Nash. He came back with no Mike D'Antoni. It was a disaster. Now they're going to go after Ime Udoka, right? So here's the deal. Pretty smart to go after Udoka. Also very smart of the Celtics to not fire him. Because I guarantee you the Celtics knew that the Nets were going to come after Udoka.
They're going to get the Ravens second round pick.
Now you can get draft picks for him.
Yeah.
If it's okay with Malika Andrews, you know what I'm saying? if Malika, obviously this is a move of the patriarchy going to get Udoka, but if it's okay, if they run it past Malika Andrews and she allows it, then it's very smart of the Nets to go get him, start that rivalry with Boston. Udoka's a good head coach, but here's the thing: the Nets roster, Kevin Durant, it's like his Tout Wars team, stars and scrubs.
Yeah, right.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. I don't know. I'm not a big Ben Simmons guy. Then the rest of those dudes is like G Leaguers. So, okay, you still have the two big stars. You know Kyrie is always a day away from taking 2 weeks off. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Where's Steve Nash going now? Back to like the TBS soccer. It's World Cup time.
Yeah, exactly. He can go do something like that.
He was really good on that show.
Nick says, how's the coach taking over in November, implementing his system? Listen, it's in the NBA, it's not about trying to be the number one seed. As long as Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can get in that Eastern Conference playoffs, they'll be all right.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It's like fantasy.
The only team in the East that the Nets would want to avoid would be the Celtics and the Bucks. So if they can avoid those two teams in the first round, you can see. I'm telling you, this guy Udoka can coach.
I believe that. I mean, I don't think that's not a hot take.
Chris Haynes says no compensation. They'll let him go.
Well, he'll probably be like, I won't see you or anything, like, let me just do my thing. Let me go over there and get paid, right?
Maybe that's the case. Tear the contract up, act like it never happened.
I mean, maybe no compensation. Maybe he'll be like, listen, just, pay me out the rest of this year. Let me go to Brooklyn, sign like a 6-year contract. We'll shake some hands. We'll be friends. I made some mistakes. Maybe you overreacted a little bit, but, all good. What a gentlemanly thing. I don't know if you want to call it a gentlemanly thing, but like, whatever. That seems like
it's probably not a gentlemanly thing, considering we don't know.
Considering what he did to get there in the first place, but this would be a gentlemanly thing.
Yeah, exactly. If you want, let me not speculate.
Well, I'm just saying, for all of us, like, we don't have to sit here and be like, "What's going on with the Udoka lawsuit?" Hasn't been come to
whoever that dude was that was grilling Kyrie Irving the other night. He'll probably grill Udoka when he gets to town to figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did they ever say who that reporter was that had the back and forth with Kyrie? I was trying to look it up, but I couldn't find it.
I didn't see it either.
Okay.
I'm sure whoever it was tweeted about it like that was me.
I'm sure they did.
Maybe it was our boy Puccio, Tony Puccio.
No, it was Puccio. I don't think Puccio get down like that.
No,
Puccio is tied in with the. You know what? Puccio may do something for the boardroom now. He may actually work for Kevin Durant's brand right now.
No way. All right, then you're not.
He might.
Yeah, then he's not going to be one to grill.
No, he's not. That's his boy. You know what I'm saying?
Producer,
what do you think of that, Mondo? Being in the media for a team and then getting them working for the player's private brand. Doesn't it seem unethical?
Follow the money.
I agree with you, but can you really unbiasedly? So were you unbiasedly covering the team?
So maybe the team. I remember back in the day when MLB started, MLB.com started. Like the
It was
reporters
Nick
were actually.
Friedel. It was Nick Friedel who grilled Kyrie.
Wow. All right.
So maybe I'm quite sure he'll have some questions for Udoka about his off the field, off the court.
Maybe not. Maybe he just didn't like Kyrie. Maybe Udoka see, you meet the guy, you're like, oh, you're actually a nice guy. Who,
Yeah, we'll see.
It's fine. Hey, whatever. I don't know enough about. I only know Kyrie from like the TMZ stuff that he says. You know what I mean? Like I don't know enough about. Like for me, it's very weird that this clean cut Duke guy is running around with flat Earth conspiracies and like
he's wild. He's a wild dude. With no doubt about it. He's a wild character.
Doesn't seem like a guy that Mike Krzyzewski would have brought to Duke, basically, I guess.
He barely, well, I wouldn't go
he was there a year. You're right. He was there a year, right?
And then I wouldn't go that far. Kyrie Irving is part of, what's his name? Calvin Hill, that family. Calvin Hill, Grant Hill, that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like a little bit of sports royalty in that family. And he comes from that part of Jersey. He's a part of the Calvin Hill, Grant Hill umbrella.
Gotcha.
Probably a reason why he went to Duke. He was a fantastic high school athlete. Kyrie Irving is just, as he's grown, some of his takes have gotten out there. But I don't have a heaven and hell to put Kyrie Irving in. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, look, man. If you want to think the Earth is flat, that's fine. But like, okay. That's cool.
He has some weird things. 100%, I agree with you on that.
Look, moon conspiracy theories, I can get behind that. If you really get into the all the signs that were in The Shining, that are like, oh, they had the same pattern here and these numbers with it. Okay, cool, whatever. But maybe just don't go too far. Don't go so far.
No, he does. He goes far. He takes it out.
You have
there.
people in the front row with T-shirts that say "Stop anti-Semitism." Like that means I think that means you've gone just one step too far.
Yeah, exactly. But exactly, 100%.
So you've gone from cartoonish fun to like, oh, all right.
Yeah, and then Kyrie Irving, but like
in Brooklyn, like
at
least do in Milwaukee. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, have you ever been to Brooklyn?
Not to defend Kyrie, but see, kind of since remember when that thing happened with who's the guy, the dude that they was calling the bus, and he came out last year.
I don't know.
Stephen A. used to criticize him. The dude, first pick of the draft, the Wizards, didn't really work out for him.
Tall guy, from like 15 years ago.
Kwame Brown. Thank you very much.
All right.
When Kwame Brown spoke about how these players are getting criticized for things they have no control over and for how they live their lives off the court, I kind of felt that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try to keep my criticism to on the field stuff.
Right.
When it comes to some of these players. I don't agree with anything that Kyrie Irving has ever done, said, or anything. He's a fantastic basketball player. Am I going to go in the press conference and go back and forth with the athlete that I'm covering about something off the court? Probably not.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, we got Thor Nystrom coming up. Let's take a break so we can get him queued up in the back end. Before we do that, for everybody listening, we want you to go over to Twitter, follow us. We're going to be giving away a Garrett Wilson autographed full-size Jets football helmet. Thanks to GetInTheGame.com, Better Sports Network. So here's all you got to do to enter the contest. You don't have to call in anymore, man. Just go to Better Network, retweet the official pinned giveaway post. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Rick Camelo's going to announce the winner. That's it. And I don't think there are that many retweets yet. So go retweet it. Maybe if you got a burner account, retweet it from that too. We're giving it away. We'd rather someone listening to this show wins it.
Speaking of Kevin Durant, if you have a burner account, go for it.
All right. Quick break. Thor Nystrom coming up. We'll be right back with more Corey Nato and Friends presented by Mayo Media Network after this.
22! Better Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Hang out in the Better Zone. Will you track NFL live action on Better Sports Network?
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that when I look at the lines, I say, okay, if it's a Detroit game, I'm probably going to bet the over. I'm going to look for ways for it to go to the under, but I'm probably going to bet the over. There's certain things that I look at, and I don't know if that's a smart way to do it because you're using something that happened as biased, but to this point, it seems to be working out.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own strategy, right? On how they bet. I always tell people all the time, hey, whatever works for you, do it. It's kind of like in the old days, I used to be a personal trainer, and people would come in thinking there was only one way to work out, right? And I like, no, you got to find what works for you and your lifestyle. Plenty of ways to lose weight, and there's not one style. And I think betting's just like that. It took me years to figure out the right style for me. So, I had some tough runs as a youngster growing up, but you figure the stuff out. I don't really care what the public and the sharps are betting. I just don't. Like, I understand it's an interesting little nugget that people put out there, but I don't think it impacts the game. So that's something I don't really look at much.
Middling is something we can try to do. You bet a team pregame -4, you live bet the other team +10. You can win both. Can you talk about that? Middling.
Listen, middling is that's why it's always hard to say like what the sharps are on. Sometimes the sharps are on 3 different plays in the same game. This is how they bet. They're looking for the best number, then live, they'll come in again on the other team. They're looking to hit this both ways. So that's a more advanced betting strategy that I don't think most people would do. But yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea. And again, when there's more games like in college, it's a little easier to do because you can find some good situations there. I try to do it once in a while. I probably don't do it as much as I should. Yeah, it's a great strategy.
Hang out in the Bettor Zone for a better NFL game day experience. Sundays at 1 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network. Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Bettor Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media. It's our busy day. NFL trade deadline is going to be over in about 29 minutes. We're still waiting on Cam Akers anything. I don't know if that's going to happen. Thor Nystrom is going to be with us in a minute. Thor Ku on Twitter, which I'm not sure if that's how he pronounces it. Maybe it's just Thor KU. Maybe he went to Kansas. We'll find out. That makes more sense.
I don't think Thor went to Kansas. I think Thor went to Minnesota or something like that.
I know he's a skull. He's got a skull thing going on. Thor, what's up, man?
Shirt up, but it's definitely for the University of Kansas. And yes, Thorku is the correct pronunciation.
That's pretty cool. I never knew that.
Pretty good guess.
What's going on, Thor? How you doing, my man? Me and Thor used to work together at NBC, Nando.
I noticed that in his Twitter bio.
Yeah.
How you been?
I'm good. I'm good, chilling. Looking forward to, I guess, really I guess I would say the really big time, the start of really getting down and nailing and hammering down into the college football season. You got Maction getting started. I want to ask you about that. But let's start with what's going to take place tonight. Probably the most important thing, college football playoff. We get to see who will be the 4 teams in the lead as we go into it. Obviously, it's going to be controversial, Thor, but what would you say right now, if you had to guess what's going to happen tonight, who are going to be the teams set up right now as we look at our first college football playoff poll?
Well, man, two of the teams in the field might be playing this weekend in Georgia and Tennessee. Yeah. And outside of that, you got to put Ohio State in, I feel like, and Clemson probably. I feel like 2 SEC teams are going. The winner of the Big Ten, of course, is going. I'm going to project that to be Ohio State, and then Clemson has an easy road ahead of them to finish undefeated. So I'll take them as the 4th.
So you don't think like a one-loss Pac-12 champion can get in?
I don't think so. Not the way it's shaking out right now. If TCU finishes undefeated, that could complicate things. But I don't think a one-loss Pac-12 team is getting in.
Would a one-loss Alabama make it 3 SEC teams?
Oh, that would be interesting. Like in the scenario where you have like the two one-loss teams, that would be interesting. I mean, it could happen.
Like Tennessee wins this week. Alabama wins the SEC. Tennessee 1 loss. Georgia 1 loss. Alabama 1 loss.
It would be hard to argue against any of those 3 if they all finish with 1 loss, right? Like you're going to need multiple undefeated P5 conference winners to prevent that from happening if that is what the scenario is, I think.
Wow, that'd be crazy because ESPN would love that. 3 SEC teams in the college football
they sure
playoff. Kurt Herbstreit,
Yeah, he wouldn't be maybe as happy, but yeah, ESPN will love it.
Thor, I've been so tapped out on college football. Like, I'm sure there are other people watching the show who are just kind of like me, I guess. Like, I used to be like, I could tell you every player down to the walk-ons on SU when I was growing up, and then it just like I just got little less and less space, and now it's just kind of like I can reminisce about the Dick McPherson days. But if I'm looking, I find it kind of like I'm looking at the NFL odds. I'm sorry, the championship odds. Is there like maybe someone who's like 10-1 or a little lower I could put a bet on who I just like have some juice in the game, be a little exciting, just rooting for some kind of upset? Is there someone in there you kind of like that's like, yeah, they could squeeze in, we could do this? Not to put you on the spot, like a dark horse.
No, I mean, as far as I don't know what TCU's odds are. I mean, that would probably be my one of like the longer shots, but I just don't think like you have all these Pac-12 teams with the one loss. I think they're already done. And then like Mississippi's not going to make it in as a one-loss team. The Big 12 thing, we know it's TCU or bust. So I don't know. Like
TCU 60-1. We will take that. Done.
We'll go with TCU.
Bets in, Thor. Thank you.
Done.
I'm not messing around, man. $5 to win 300.
Why not?
Go for it. So before we get to tonight and the action and stuff like that, Heisman Trophy, it was like, okay, CJ Stroud, then you had some Bryce Young, and then you saw the surge by a guy like my man QB1, Caleb Williams. But now the quarterback at Tennessee, I haven't checked the odds recently, but I would guess is Tennessee quarterback the favorite now?
Yeah, Hendon Hooker became the favorite on Monday or whatever when the books dropped the new odds. I'm very upset at myself for not betting that 2-3 weeks ago, because that was a train that you could have seen off in the distance. Stroud was the prohibitive favorite a couple weeks ago. The problem with Stroud is his counting stats were there, but if you look into his like ancillary advanced stuff, it's sort of started to fall apart. And in a way that if you projected it forward, it's like, Stroud is not going to sustain the statistical success he's had to this point, because he has this awesome TD to INT ratio. But if you look at like just like PFF big time throws against turnover worthy plays, those ones have plummeted for him this year, or the big time throws have plummeted while the turnover worthy plays have spiked up. It's just that wasn't manifesting on his stat line yet. So you kind of knew that he was gonna fade from how far ahead he was of the field. And then the Hooker thing, he was coming on, right? Like these last couple of weeks, he was coming on. And after the game against probably LSU was probably the time to pull the trigger on that one. But now with where the odds are on that one, it's hard to bet Hooker as the favorite.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think you missed the boat on that one. I know we do the show Homecoming, me and our boy Tom Casale on the weekends, and we mentioned Williams, we mentioned Hooker as guys having games that could vault them into the top if they won those particular games. I believe Williams did lose that night. I think that might have been against Utah, and they went out there in that tough spot against Utah. But Hooker got it done. But now he has to get it done again this weekend. Go on the road and get it done. Athens, Tennessee. I mean, this is classic. This is what you falls are made of. You got 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. You know what I'm saying? And we're down there in Georgia, Tennessee and Georgia. Georgia Lane 8.5. Where you going with this one? Anything you got right now, or are you still handicapping it? I know you do your own numbers. What is your side? What is your stuff saying right now?
My line on that game is Georgia -8. I will
on the number.
Yeah, but it's pretty close. It's showing, I guess, a half point of value or whatever on Tennessee. I definitely will not be laying the points with Georgia in this game. My lean would be to Tennessee. We'll see if I get there on a full play. But I was in on Tennessee when they upset Alabama. I was in on them on some of their games earlier this year. I made the very, very unfortunate mistake of deciding to step onto the tracks with against them with Kentucky last week. Yeah. That didn't go very well.
That was over quick.
That was over quick. But in sports gambling, that the way I see these things, you do this long enough. I viewed that as a very cheap lesson of I'm not fading Tennessee again this year. The parallels to this team, like you start to evoke 2019 LSU a little bit about just them pounding teams and exceeding expectations week after week, where after a certain point, you just toss your hands up and you're like, I'm not stepping on the tracks again with that team. And that's where I got last week. So definitely will not be laying with Georgia. Very well may be taking the points at Tennessee.
Thor, I don't want to completely take us off college, but when I was
that's right. No, good one, Nando. Yeah.
What?
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. Oh, how'd you know? I was scrolling through your Twitter before just to get some background on you, man. Like I saw you, you said something like KOC Kevin O'Connell. Your mind goes wild. Think of the ways that he can use Hawkinson, and I just wish could you elaborate on that, please, as a Hawkinson rosterer. My eyes kind of lit up. Well, okay, I can get behind this now.
Yeah, I do a Viking show for one of our conglomerations in town, Score North, and I was talking these last several weeks about the Vikings' biggest thing that they needed to add was an inline tight end. It was the clear hole on the team. Irv Smith is not an inline tight end, and he's an H-back, and they didn't have anybody else. Just these backup types. Hawkinson is such a perfect fit for the Vikings on so many different levels. He can do so many different things, and they weren't utilizing all those different things in with Detroit or whatever. But Hawkinson is an enormous upgrade in terms of the run blocking and the inline stuff. He can also function out of the backfield, like shifting into the backfield. You can actually use him as a lead blocking fullback if you want. He'll blow people out of the hole like a stick of dynamite. And then as far as the receiving goes, the kid's a freak athlete who doesn't drop balls. In Detroit, where he had to be one of the top options, and the defense could always delineate their big mover and coverage onto him, it wasn't as good or whatever because his skill set was being wasted on a bad team. Now with the Vikings, you're not going to be able to put your best big cover defender, TJ Hawkinson, with Jefferson out there, with Thielen out there, the Delvin Cook, the whole deal. He's going to be in more advantageous situations than he's ever been in his career, playing with the best quarterback that he's ever played with and the best play caller by far that he's ever played with. And Kevin O'Connell, I imagine, is licking his chops about the prospect of having a chess piece type offensive player like Hawkinson is on his roster now.
Is this is it like O'Connell's system a tough one to pick up, or can Hawkinson show up and be like, I'm going to do 60% of the snaps this weekend and I'll get 5 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards and a touchdown. And then next week will be when I blow up. Or is this come right in?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. I think I would have to imagine he will be playing this weekend, but in limited snaps, because it's just asking too much for him to pick up the entire playbook, but
sure.
In however 3-4 days, whatever. But he's absolutely going to be used situationally this first week. And then, after that, I would imagine he's just literally the full-time participant, and you're never going to see him off the field. Because not only is he a matchup problem in the passing game, for a team that is going to give their tertiary receivers better opportunities than almost any other team in the NFL, because Justin Jefferson is a gravitational suck for the opposing defense. He always has 2 guys on him. You always see 2 high safeties against the Vikings because people aren't willing to get ripped up by Jefferson. And it opens up all this spacing underneath and in the intermediate area. Hawkinson's absolutely going to feast on that stuff, and you'll see that the rest of the season. First game, like I said, I don't think he'll play full snaps, but after that, he certainly will between the run blocking and then the passing game matchups.
Nice. No doubt, good stuff. Talking to my man Thor Nystrom from Betting Pros. You can check out his work over there. I know you guys do something, a couple nights a week, getting ready for college football. The thing with LSU from 2019 and this year's Tennessee team has been talked about a lot. When I think back to that 2019 LSU team, I think, I don't know, maybe I haven't seen enough of Tennessee yet. I'll definitely see 4 quarters of Tennessee this weekend. Now it's going to be a tough spot. LSU, they had their big game that year at home. Alabama came to them in 2019. Well, Alabama comes to LSU again this year. That's one of the games on the docket this week. Your boy Brian Kelly, him and his family down there in LSU. They seem to be getting it together recently. Right now, I believe the 15th ranked team in the nation, Alabama, going on the road, laying 13. To me, this is a spot where I would want to bet LSU to cover, but I think Alabama gets the win.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm gonna be on LSU in that game, and it very well might be make my column as an official play, one of my top 10 favorites of the week. That one's gonna more than a lean for me for sure. It's a night game in Baton Rouge with this LSU team that is clearly ascending. Like, from the first, everybody watched that game when they played Florida State. From there to where they are now, it's sort of a night and day difference. And they almost beat that Florida State team, a Florida State team that's better than we all thought heading into the season. So that loss isn't as bad. And by the way, LSU outplayed them. Probably should have won that game, but, whatever. But like I said, to now, improving. Specifically, the offense with Daniels. Because, in those first couple of games, it was like, oh, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? But he's been playing great. Brian Kelly, you're going to put another feather in his coaching genius hat if he gets Daniels drafted. After Daniels looked broken last season at Arizona State, he had some of the worst individual games that I'd ever. I remember watching him. I think it was against Wazoo. And it was like literally the worst quarterback performance I'd seen all season, where it like made your eyes bleed. That guy's gone. Now we have like a legitimate guy who's back on NFL radars. Daniels is going to do stuff that gives Alabama problems. He can handle all the usage in the game, obviously the passing, and then he's their leading rusher as well. He has it's close to double the rushing attempts of LSU's next highest guy. I think he's going to give Alabama some problems outside of the pocket. Alabama's secondary has been a problem this year, which is going to make his Daniels' passing, his accuracy, and his placement very important in this game because LSU has the awesome receiving core. LSU's receivers are going to be able to beat Alabama's corners all game long. Can Daniels get them the ball where they can make the plays downfield? Because Alabama is going to get sucked up trying to deal with Daniels as a runner and the zone option game and everything like that. But yeah, I think night game in Baton Rouge and LSU can do stuff to take Alabama off their game. I'm going to take those points for sure.
Yeah, I definitely take that. Tonight, Maction gets rolling. I think it's 27 straight days of college football. This is just become Maction has become a kind of a college football betting cult. You know what I'm saying? To watch these Ohio teams on weeknights is pretty cool. Going back and forth between the NBA and a little Maction. But tonight we get Kent State and Ball State and Buffalo and Ohio. Kent State laying 7 tonight. This number was 4.5 the other day. I was on Ball State too, and I'm like, well, why are they getting 7 now? So I think I'm gonna reserve my pick until I hear what you have to say.
You're on the right side. I really like Ball State. That's my play tonight. The other one, the margins are closer on it, I feel like, but I really like Ball State. I don't understand the line movement. And frankly, I don't care. I'll take you back to
Thank you.
It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I loved Toledo, and my system loved Toledo against Kent State. And all throughout the week, the line started to do weird things where the market was very clearly heavily behind Kent State and pulled that line all the way down to -7 or -7.5 for Toledo, like something like that. And like, you do start scratching your head. Like, I know big money's against me, but I don't really know what they're seeing. Do they know something I don't? Toledo blasted them. So I don't care what the market thinks about Kent State anymore. They've been wrong over and over and over again. And in this circumstance, their confidence doesn't make any sense to me. Kent State not only matches up poorly in this game against a team that has played in 4 straight one-possession games after they split in the non-con, Ball State, but Kent State has way more problems with injuries right now, way more. Like, Ball State is pretty close to 100% healthy. Kent State is very far from that. Kent State's starting quarterback didn't play in the last game. He's questionable for this one. I have not seen one positive report about his status. We'll see. Colleges, their prerogative is not to give us injury information. So we'll see. But signs would seem to point towards him being less than 50% in terms of playing this game. If he doesn't, I'm talking about Schley, Kent State starting quarterback. If he doesn't, Kent State's going to be starting a true freshman again at quarterback. They had to do it last week. They might be doing it again this week. The star receiver, Cephas, for Kent State, is highly questionable for this game. Their best defender, Kent State's best defender, missed the last game and is questionable to doubtful for this game. They have another kid, one of their top defenders, who just got ruled out for the rest of the season, a different one. And then one of their best safeties is already ruled out in the preseason from an injury. Now, so that's just the injury stuff. But the on-field matchup, I also think heavily favors Ball State. But Ball State, the way they play offense, it's super paint by numbers. It's give Carson Steele, their running back. He's just a short yard grinder guy, but he's very good at the grind. He breaks a ton of tackles. In fact, he's number 6 in the nation in broken tackles, and he's a top 10 PFF graded running back. They give him the ball a ton, and then outside of that, they do the quick sideline to sideline passing game. They never throw the ball downfield. Paddock, Ball State's quarterback, has the quickest release time in all the NCAA. And it's not because he's like some sort of gunslinger. It's because the coach tells him, Paddock, when you get the ball, turn to your left and throw it to the guy who's got the 2 blockers in front of him. Because of that, Ball State has a mediocre offensive line, but they never give up sacks because you don't have the time to get there. Look at the Kent State defense now. They're arguably the best thing about it. There are not many things you can say positively about it because they're by any metric a bottom 10 overall defense in the entire nation. The one thing that they can do is be disruptive up front. They have an undersized defensive line. They run this 3-3-5 undersized defensive line, but they can get penetration on the passing plays. They get blown off the ball in the run game, but they can do that. But they're not going to cause any havoc here because, again, Paddock gets the ball up before you can even get close, even if you have a free rush on him. So that part gets nullified. Meanwhile, Kent State is one of the worst. It's not just that overall they have a terrible defense. It's also that they can't tackle. They're beneath 100th in the nation in terms of tackling success rate. Well, like I said, Carson Steele, that's what he does. He's not a big play running back, but he breaks tackles. Kent State is not going to be able to tackle him the entire game. And by the way, Kent State's tackling problems, they're not just between the tackles. They extend out to the perimeter too, where that ball is going to be half the time when Paddock does the quick throwing. Kent State has one good cornerback, their top cornerback. Outside of that, the rest of the secondary stinks. The other 2 corners stink. The safeties stink. So as long as you avoid the cornerback one that Kent State has, Paddock, the other quick hitting stuff is going to be there right away. Kent State ain't going to be able to tackle those guys. Ball State will be able to stay on schedule. And then Ball State has one of the better defenses in the MAC. And so especially if they're going up against this true freshman quarterback, and especially if Kent State does not have Cephas, Ball State's only going to have to address the running game at Kent State. They'll be able to do that good enough to stay close. I'm taking certainlyAll State with the points.
I'm taking them on the money line. After all that, I'm taking them on the money line.
Yeah, right.
Upset Kent State. Ball State outright, baby.
There you go. Keep the points. Ball State outright.
Keep them. Give me that money line ticket.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was just gonna be like, yeah, is Syracuse any good? But I'd like to yield on like I'm gonna make this a bad segment after what you just did, like 7 minutes on Ball State, Kent State. I'm just gonna push all my questions over to Corey because he can guide this way better than I can, man. I want to hear the next Thor monologue here. I'm like, I'm completely hypnotized by this, man. Usually, like someone like that's just like a depth of knowledge that wow.
Oh yeah, Thor definitely brings the knowledge.
Thor, jeez, man.
Buffalo and Ohio. This number's going against me too. You know what I'm saying? I was like earlier this week. I'm like, oh yeah, this is Buffalo, and then I looked. Well, the number moved against me. Am I on the right side this time too?
So this one is just a lean for me. My system likes this one more than I do. My system has a line on this game of Ohio minus 1.2.
Okay,
and obviously Buffalo's favored by 3. So showing the wrong team being favored, you know, some value there. I do lean towards Ohio. But like I said, this one, there's way more factors going on where I'm not as confident in it as I was with the other one. Buffalo has been really, really good since the first 3 games. The first 3 games, they were awful. And then it was like, oh, you could just, stick a fork in Buffalo. One of the games, they lost to Holy Cross at home.
Oh, wow.
And then, like, ever since then, they can't lose. But they've been getting a lot of luck as far as, like, fumbles, 4th down conversions, both for them and then the opponent struggling with them. A lot of situational things have gone in their favor. They've also run into some backup quarterbacks and gotten lucky with the schedule. I think they're a little bit of a paper tiger, to be honest. But, like, it's hard for me to trust Ohio as much as my system does because Ohio is really good at one thing, and the rest of their team stinks. They're really, really good at throwing the ball. And then their quarterback also running it, Rourke. But it's sort of like a one-man show. Him and then I suppose the receiving core is good too. They have this Ohio State transfer. I've never heard his name pronounced, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but his first name's definitely Sam. I think his last name is pronounced Wiglus. It's like Wiglusz or something like that. I've never even seen that last name. But anyway, that kid has been awesome this year. So that's what Ohio can generate a ton of offense between the passing game and then Rourke scrambling around. But they don't have a running game anymore. They used to, but now their offensive line is terrible. Like their offensive line is really, really regressed. And then on defense, Ohio has like one of the 5 worst defenses in the nation, probably worse than Kent State's. So it's like, on the one hand, like I said, Buffalo's a paper tiger. But on the other hand, you have only sort of the one bullet with Ohio. And it's like, is that going to be able to lead them to the victory? That's where I think the more variance comes in. But I definitely do lean towards Ohio in that one.
All right. Cool. Hey, Thor, my man, good stuff as always. Thanks a lot, brother. And enjoy tonight and enjoy Maction and obviously enjoy those big games this weekend. And enjoy the Minnesota Vikings, a team that I
enjoy
think.
TJ Hawkinson.
And TJ Hawkinson. I was just said it yesterday. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to be a first round elimination in the NFC playoffs. But we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
We had such good vibes. Why do you have to end it on a sour note?
As a Dallas
we're riding high right now, baby.
As a Dallas Cowboy fan, I know what a first round elimination looks like.
As a Minnesota Vikings fan, so do I.
Oh yeah. You've seen worse. I know. Trust me. You know what tears look like as a Vikings fan.
I felt them in my eyes for years.
Hey, good stuff, my man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Thor. It's nice to meet you, Thor. I like that guy a lot. Yo, let me tell you something. Corey Parson, he's the most underrated. I don't want to call you a talent scout.
Yeah.
You're like a talent. You got an eye for talent. And it's like one of the most underrated things. I think people don't give you enough credit for that, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
FSWA Hall of Fame. Forget the umbrella and the tree. It's like the Corey Parson rock. What's underneath it?
The rock. Prudential.
Yeah. Not that Thor's underneath the rock. The dude's got 30-something thousand followers.
He does a good job with that. I think he's like the premier college guy that's been in fantasy circles. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Working for Roto World for all of those years. You get known within the fantasy community, but his college football stuff is top notch. You know what I'm saying? And we're into the month of November now, and these games get bigger. The pageantry of college football, and obviously with this playoff rankings coming out tonight. One thing about college football, Nando, they'll make it very controversial. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that keeps it in the news.
I guarantee, I would not be surprised if like the 4th team tonight is Alabama, and everybody's gonna be like, "How did Alabama?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And then it starts for the next 6 weeks. That's all we hear about.
So here we go. There's 2 minutes left until. All right. So here's the thing. This happens a lot in baseball. Like nothing has happened since Jeff Wilson, really. But a lot of times in baseball. You're going to see stuff come through after, like, the facts. The facts goes in. What do we got? Oh, wait, we do have something. Nyheim Hines to the Buffalo Bills. What a weird. Why?
Now, here's the deal. Well, this is good for Deion Jackson, right? But here's the thing. So you know that Buffalo's been in the market for a running back, but Buffalo's offense is fine the way it is, right?
Yeah.
If they go out there, they get the running back. He's going to be in the mix with Singletary and Cook and stuff like that. Maybe a little bump for fantasy, right? Because it's still a system. But here's the thing. Who needs Nyheim Hines?
I don't know. That's a weird one, man.
Tampa Bay.
Oh, you meant like actually? I thought you were just asking a rhetorical question. Like, who needs Nyheim Hines?
Tampa Bay needs him. Why is Tampa Bay drop? I don't want to say obviously McCaffrey is a pretty price to get McCaffrey.
Right.
But why couldn't they get Hines? Because Hines is the kind of player that Tom Brady needs.
He loves Nyheim Hines types.
Yep.
Yeah, that's James. I thought James Cook.
I don't get it.
Yeah, what a weird. So anyway, there's probably some more coming. I think after everyone passes their whatever at 4 and like things get approved, we'll learn about them as this show goes on over the next half hour or so. I would assume. Maybe this Cam Akers thing is so weird. We gotta have Jordan
Cam
Rodriguez
Akers thing. Maybe Cam Akers going to Tampa. I think Tampa may have waved the white flag.
Yeah, but I mean, like, still do something.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there. Guy lost a supermodel over the season. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, he's probably all right with that. He probably all right with
maybe,
that.
I guess Tom Brady. Could Tom Brady get anyone? I don't know.
Probably so.
I guess. I feel like
I remember I'm the RA at the quarterback house, so I hear through the walls some of the conversations. I think he's doing all right.
I don't know, like if he extends, like if it's just a bunch of dudes who love Tom Brady, or if women, are crazy for him too.
I would guess Tom Brady does all right with women.
Probably,
considering who his wife was. You know what I'm saying?
And before that, it was Bridget Monahan, right?
Yeah, he does all right. Yeah,
from Coyote Ugly, I think. Anyway, we got to do game balls. So let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll do game balls.
Can we get a 4-minute break? I need to find the football. I'm sorry.
That works for me. We got a couple. We can play a couple clips, right?
I hope so.
Probably about the wedding planner clip, and then.
Well, please, just as long as it's not Babe Ruth, but the wedding planner and whatever else is cool with me.
You're not gonna be here for it. All right, 4-minute break coming up. We'll catch whatever trades fall through the net. I'm just refreshing Schefter's page right here. Nothing new after that Naheem Hines thing. So stay tuned. Take a quick break. Oh, we'll take an elongated break. We'll be right back, and we'll do some game balls.
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
Moose and Keith with you. Let's welcome aboard right now, Iron Eagle. One of the great stories that I have from doing notes on a plane, and you always get people looking over. They see color-coded uniform numbers, names, height, weight, age, background, hometown. And I had a woman sitting next to me on a flight, and I'm doing my notes, and she's kind of giving the look, then looking. And I can tell she's looking. And then finally, she'll say, so what is it that you do? Well, what do you think I do? She said, are you a wedding planner? I said, yes. I said, I have to put Rob Gronkowski at Tom Brady's table. I said, you know what? You're not correct, but it's the best answer I've ever heard. That's great.
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
As far as fantasy executive, a football life to fantasy executive is probably going to be the best football life ever.
Who will be the guest? Everyone who was on yesterday, basically.
Yeah, everybody that's on yesterday will be the guest. Scott Engel, you know what I'm saying? Adam Rodas. Yeah, everybody, those people. Because what Nando, obviously you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to the GST and shoot some scenes. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be nice.
We'll shoot some scenes in Midtown Manhattan. Antonio Brown can be on my football life,
That'd
right?
Be nice.
Because that's a big part of my come up as a fantasy analyst. Everybody, the football life, the fantasy executive is going to be for the people. When they do the football life on the fantasy executive, I'm going to be hands on.
Good. Yeah. You talking to you.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Cheetos or Doritos?
I truly love both. Cool Ranch Doritos.
Wow.
I grew up on Cheetos. I was a big Chester Cheetah guy.
Oh, nice.
But Ray, as I have aged into adulthood, I've moved away from the fun that is the Cheeto, and I've gone to the, more cosmopolitan Cool Ranch Dorito chip. So I'm probably a Cool Ranch guy. How about you?
I would go Doritos. I don't like Cool Ranch. The traditional, original, regular, whatever it is really good. But my favorite's actually the sweet chili, the purple bag. Oh, delicious. It's fantastic.
Yeah. The one that sucks, and I think we can all agree on this one, taco.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things, and I'm perfect at a lot of things. My Dorito trivia is a little shaky.
Okay.
A little shaky. But I think taco is the first flavor.
Couple game balls, I want to be able to give out. These won't be the last ones.
First and foremost, listen, we talked about it this week in practice. You practice it, it pays off on the field.
I got one special one I want to give, just so everybody understands. For everything that
He has gone through everything that he's worked for.
Listen, adversity strikes. But we keep fighting through adversity.
Talk about value. We talk about work.
Game ball this week goes to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, young man, come and get your game ball. Listen to your position coaches, showing up to practice on time. That's how you get a game ball.
Be smart. Enjoy it. We earned it. Let's go earn another one next week.
Welcome back, everybody. Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media. Also, unofficially sponsored by Jock Market this week. I know they're off to another show, but we still love them very much. Oh, look at that. Yep. We shifted. There's my keyboard. Corey Parson. It's Tuesday. It's game ball time. Let's do it, man. Let's see. We haven't had a repeat winner.
All right. I don't know if we'll have one this week, but we very well could be the case. I actually was thinking about it on my way home from the post office, sending out those cards today. But let's get into it.
Oh, you said it was a PSA? You said your Mac Jones is finally out?
No, the stuff I sold last week.
Oh, all right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, gather up. Good job this week, everybody. Good week of practice. Offense, good way to step up this week. Seen a lot of poor offense so far this year. Offense roared back this week. Good week of practice. Good week of offense. Everybody, congratulations. Solid week this week. Let's start in the quarterback room. QB1, Tua. Nice way to come back. 29 points. QB2, Jalen Hurts. Great job. 28 points. Kyler Murray. QB3. QB4, Dak Prescott. QB5, Justin Fields. Hey, Justin, keep it up, my man.
Dude, there it is.
QB6, Marcus Mariota. Continue to do a good job, Marcus. QB7, Kirk Cousins. QB8, Tyler Heineke. QB9, Lamar Jackson. Hey, Lamar, let's pick it up. QB9, Jacoby Brissett. QB11, Josh Allen. QB12, Zach Wilson. Zach, you got a lot of work to do, Zach. You got to be a QB1 this week, but you got a lot of work to do. I want you to hang with it. Now it's time to give out our game ball for this week. 21 of 27, 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 34 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. Haven't been able to do this for a while, but my man, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, you get a game ball.
The most predictable game ball of all time. Awesome. Congratulations, Dak. You win that as well.
Come in here, Dak. Come get your game ball, Dak Prescott.
Adam really thought you were going to go Tua. Like he predicted Tua. Like, come on, man. You know Corey. It's
pretty close.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right, let's get in the wide receivers room. Good job, WRs this week. Good job with the running back. Good job with the wide receivers. Good job in the room. Good job learning your routes. Good job getting space. Good job getting open. We do have a trade. Zach Moss in the 6th-round pick. Oh, that's the name.
He's going back for Naheem Hines. Still doesn't help Cook. James.
No, he doesn't. And I do have a Zach Moss red, white, and blue I got last week. That's neither here nor there.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. AJ Brown, WR1 on the week. AJ Brown, fantastic job this week, my man. DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop, glad to have you back. Your WR2 on the week. Jalen Waddle, the best touchdown dance in football. We were lucky enough to see it 2 times this week. Shout out to you, Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill, WR4. DJ Moore. Hey, DJ, listen up. Let's play the game with our heads. We're still all a team in here. We got each other's backs. But we're still on your side. But you got to understand, you got to have our backs as well. Good job. We still got plenty of fight to do. Amari Cooper, number 6. Good job. Good job hanging in there and playing through the cold weather. Rondell Moore, WR7. Hey, Rondell Moore, I think you should start seeing some more starts. Should be in some more starting lineups. QB8, my man Stephon Diggs. Excuse me, WR8, my man Stephon Diggs. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 9. Don't stand up, Coop. We see you. Make sure you get healthy. Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 10. Jacoby Myers, wide receiver 11. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver number 12. All right, game ball time. Keep getting it done every week. Now you're on pace to have an historic season. You could break records. We haven't had no issues with you off the field, no incidents. Brought you in here, made you a part of our family, and glad to have you. You're doing a great job. Historic season on the line. My main man, Tyreek Hill, you get a game ball.
I just saw as I was scrolling through looking for trades, Tyreek Hill found out about the Chubb trade while he was streaming on Twitch. There's actually video of his reaction on there somewhere. I didn't listen to it. I just saw that happened. So
Hill,
check out after the show.
Hill 12 catches, 188 yards. Seems like you're getting 188 yards every week. Tyreek Hill, keep it up. Possibly could be the NFL's offensive player of the year. Let's get to the running back positions. Good week of work out the running backs this week. Good way to stay healthy. Good way to take care of your body. Good way to stay competitive. Let's go running backs. Alvin Kamara. Great job, Alvin Kamara. 38 points in the PPR. Your RB1. RB2, Christian McCaffrey. Welcome to your new home. You're getting it done. RB3, the King. Another great week from the King. 219. Tony Pollard. Great job for Tony Pollard this week. Your RB4. Deonta Foreman. Good way to come through, Deonta Foreman. Nick Chubb. See you every weekend, young man. Running back 6. Travis Etienne. Running back 7. You got a bright future ahead of you, young man. You're the best player on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Running back 8. Dalvin Cook. Running back 9. Jamal Williams. Good job on the goal line. Running back 10. Ramondre Stevenson. 11. Aaron Jones. Running back 12, Antonio Gibson. Hey, no matter what they try to do to you, no matter how they try to walk away from you, you're a better player than that. But right now, let's give it our game ball. I got to go with the King. 219 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and a victory. King Henry, you get a game ball.
Congratulations, man. That's a good one. I like that.
There you go right there for Derrick Henry. Tight ends, get over here. Tyler Conklin, tight end 1. Isaiah Likely, tight end 2. Shout out to my man, Kyle Pitts. Great way to hang in there. Great way to stay ready. Great way to stay focused. Nice job of Kyle Pitts. Evan Ingram, tight end 4. Ertz, tight end 5. Kittle, tight end number 6 on the week. Tight end 7, Mike Gesicki. Tight end 8, Greg Dulcich. Tight end 9, my man, Dalton Schultz. Tight end 10, TJ Love having you in his locker room. We know you're going on to bigger and better things. Congratulations to you. But you're tight end 10 this week. Tight end 9, Dallas Goedert. Tight end 12, Cole Kmet. But the game ball goes to 6 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown for the first time ever. My man Isaiah Likely, you get a game ball.
I like that one. All right, that's fantastic.
All right, everybody, congratulations. Good, solid week. You got the rest of the day off. Now you come back in here tomorrow. You get your work in, get with your position coaches. We start to install a game plan, and we go out there and we continue to get victories. Corey Nando and friends on 3. 1, 2, 3. Corey Nando and friends. Yay! There go your game balls.
We'll get there, Dante. We'll get there.
Better Sports Network.
We got some news. Frustrated Brandon Cooks mad on Twitter, according to Jared here in the background. Don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies for too long. Those days are done. Cross the line with playing with my career, and then an emoji of a bow and arrow.
He must be about to drop the T on what they knew about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, there's something there, man. I don't know.
That would be crazy if he did that.
You know what I'm 17 saying? Different. I mean, why not? Right? Like you pull an Antonio Brown and just be like, "Here's, I'm out." Like just this is figuratively pulling off the jersey and getting out of there. You know?
I mean, yeah, it's terrible. That's good. I know he wants to play for a winner.
Yeah,
he wants to be competitive. You know what I'm saying? He's been there in Houston for a long time now.
I feel like it's only been like a couple of years. He was just on the Patriots.
Has he not been there 3 years?
Well, 3, I guess. Yeah, but it's not like he was there for 7 years. I mean, you know what you're getting into.
But he's been there through the down years.
I guess. True.
Maybe he didn't know what he was getting into.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Deshaun Watson was his quarterback when he showed up.
Deshaun Watson exactly was his quarterback when he first got there. So that's a sad situation. But listen, this is professionals. Here's the thing. Just like the thing with the Brooklyn Nets. That's why you don't let players be the general manager.
Yeah.
Because that's not what they do. You got to play, son. You're not the GM. The GM has a job to do. You have a job to do. That's the way the hierarchy works. You see it in the NBA all the time. The players want to come in there, get this player, get this coach, get this GM. Then when the team lose, what happens? You want to fire the coach like Kevin Durant just did with Steve Nash, right? Look at LeBron James. Look at that team that he left Cleveland with when he decided to go to the Lakers. That team was horrible.
Yes.
Some terrible contracts. Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert. Those are LeBron boys. Now you got to get rid of them. Now they did bounce back, so I get it. So it's interesting. So people that didn't get traded, Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims. The Giants didn't get a wide receiver. Packers, I heard, were involved with Claypool, but obviously they didn't have enough as the division rivals swooped in there and got him.
Josina Anderson has a Cam Akers quote. Feels that playing for the Rams again this season isn't in the best interest for his career. Okay.
All right. Did you get
that?
traded? Did Josina got anything on that?
Did not get traded. I mean, this is like I'm just scrolling through and like I don't think this is like baseball where these things trickle in like an hour later. Maybe they will be. I could be wrong.
Is Josina working for a company or is she by herself? Because I know she got that podcast with some actors on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, she's with CBS.
Senior NFL insider for CBS Sports HQ. She's the host of The Crew NYC and Undefined with Josina Anderson.
Yeah, I know she had a couple podcasts. Okay, all right. So she's still working with CBS.
You could email her, JA@Undefined with Josina Anderson. I bet she would answer that.
Oh, she does answer. She does answer her emails. I've had her on shows before, back in the Sirius XM days. You know what else? We met her. We kicked. You know what? I know her. First of all, she's a Tar Heel, right?
Yeah.
So she's a Tar Heel. So I remember her from, when she was just doing stuff with North Carolina, because, my sister was down there around the same time. And then she covered the Wizards when Michael Jordan was in Washington. Like, that might have been her first beat. And I know a couple of people that know her from when she covered the Wizards when Michael Jordan was out there. And she's been around for a while. She's talented. Me and Scott met her at the Super Bowl a couple of years when the Super Bowl was in New York. So she does a good job. I think Josina's good, but she will come on the show. She's cool like that. She's people.
She said the team source on how they move forward with Brandon Cooks after no deal materializes, quote, he's a pro. So I don't know. That's
he don't sound like a pro on Twitter right now.
That sounds like a
He may not be a pro when he get in that locker room tomorrow.
that sounds like a threat. That's crazy. All right, so something's gonna happen there, most likely. It's so weird. Like, this is just like frustrated guys are done with it, man.
Card of the day, y'all.
Who's that?
Steve Nash. Nash, white sprinkle prism.
Oh, I got my Willie Mays finally.
Oh, that's what's up.
For $60.
Nice.
I'm having $66 and then shipping.
Was it PSA 5 or what was it?
It was an SGC. It was an old SGC. It was basically an SGC 5 equivalent.
Okay, got it.
But I looked at the picture of it, and like, that's actually pretty sharp. So I don't know. Like, I could crack it open and send it back. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference. I just like how the card looks. I like having it. I don't know. I'm very happy about that. I bought another overtime elite card of a guy I don't know. So I'm really happy about that. But it was really cool. It was really like the guy was flying through the air like dunking.
Okay, you like the way it looked.
Yeah, it was just, you know what? I'm like, sometimes you just gotta like what a card looks like. I don't know who the guy is.
Now that I sold all that basketball stuff, Nando, I need to buy I need to get a Anthony Edwards PSA 10. So if you see something for a decent price, let me know.
I don't know what a decent price is for anything basketball.
That's true too. I know that. I'll look around. I'm looking for Anthony Edwards PSA 10.
Everybody, get out there and help Corey find it. So I jotted down real quick. I jotted down some winners and losers. I thought the Giants might be losers. They didn't get a wide receiver. They didn't get Jerry Jeudy. They didn't do anything like that. But they got rid of Kadarius Toney.
Well, you got to call the Giants winners because of the fact that they're playing great football.
Right, so, but I mean, like even the Bears went out and got a wide receiver.
It'd have been nice to see them really go for it. Do the Giants need a wide receiver? Oh, you know who I put down on my free agent list today? I still got to maneuver it a little bit. Darius Slayton is not playing bad.
He's not. Look, if you like Daniel Jones has a nice history of liking Darius Slayton too. Like, he's thrown to him a lot before.
Hey, you think Daniel Jones is going to be their quarterback next year?
I don't know, man. I don't know how that salary cap stuff works. I assume he's going to want to get paid. I don't know who's going to pay him, but props to the Giants for basically fixing a lot of his problems. It seems like they found a way to fit him into the system. He's the new Josh Allen. Daniel Jones.
Maybe Mac Jones, the Giants quarterback next year.
That'd be something.
Maybe Bailey Zappi.
Oh man, I'm just why can't the Giants ever just have like Daniel Jones is the closest we've gotten in a long time, and we being Giants. It's having like an electric kind of exciting quarterback. We've never had like that running quarterback, and now we got the Jones is running for like 80 yards a game, and it's kind of exciting. You know what I mean? To have that kind of quarterback on your team.
I can imagine the relationship with the organization can't be good though, because they didn't extend him. out that first contract and made him play for it basically for 2 years now, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Haven't
he had to prove me. You know what I mean? He's like, okay, now pay me. I'd love to run at 5'132" Giants. Let's do it.
Yeah, I would probably try to go into that office today.
I mean, I would too, obviously. But
yeah, he's not going to be there next year. And if he's there, he's going to be the backup, probably.
All right. Well, we'll see, I guess.
But see, I don't think the Giants would draft a quarterback in the first round. Even with this being a quarterback draft, I don't see the Giants drafting one in the first round.
I have no idea. I'm so bad with this draft stuff and who's available and who's like. This is like, I know this is like a quarterback rich draft, but I don't know, man. Let's get Thor back on for these things.
Emery or Thor, somebody like that, because you're just looking at, if you look at other, maybe it's Cooper Rush. No, the Giants.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to do that to the Giants. Fans.
Come on, maybe it's Jared Goff. Like, I don't know. Like,
maybe it's Tyler. Maybe it's Tyler Huntley.
That'd be a good one. Maybe it's Lamar Jackson.
Maybe it's Lamar Jackson. You're right. I forgot that. It could be Lamar Jackson. You're right.
Forget about Huntley. And then Daniel Jones goes over to Baltimore.
Oh, boy, that would be.
And runs for Greg Roman.
Yeah, that would be amazing. No Brissett. It's no Trubisky. You already tried that. Jordan Love. Jimmy G.
I could see he would do. That guy would. I mean, look. I know we've talked about how like we're past this whole New York. You need to be there, for like advertising. Jimmy Garoppolo would.
But Jimmy Garoppolo would be a very popular quarterback in New York.
That guy's very, very much made for New York City.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you on that. Davis Mills.
He's a pro. Yeah, he's a pro. Just like Brad, I'm gonna use he's a pro all the time now.
I like that.
Like anonymous Texans front office person.
Bailey Zappi. Jameis.
I don't think he would go well with this offense.
You
need someone who could run. Dayball likes those running quarterbacks. So
yeah, Jameis is Yeah, you know what? Mariota. Falcons would probably definitely draft a quarterback. The Broncos need to draft a quarterback. Maybe it's Russell Wilson.
That sounds like a Colts. That sounds like a Colts mistake.
The Giants fam, let's ride.
Yeah.
Ride right off the Jersey Turnpike.
Oh, maybe Daniel Jones goes to Denver. That'd be an interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Boy, I know Broncos fans would be like, "Are you kidding me?" Daniel Jones is headed for a life of NFL backup.
I don't know, man. He's having a good year, and the team's 6-2.
Then the Giants need to keep him. Either the Giants keep him. Here's the only place Daniel Jones will start next season is with the New York Giants.
Now, I don't know if that's entirely true. Someone could grab him. I don't know who, but I mean, I'm sure like Daniel Jones will be attracted. Like Brian Daboll has kind of fixed Daniel Jones, man. Daniel Jones
probably more coaching than the. Remember the first game when he threw that interception in the Tennessee game, and then Daboll walked over to him and was like, "Let me tell you something, MF," or whatever he said. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Been a problem since then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's been like everything's been cool since then. I don't know. Yeah, if he's not the Giants starter, I don't see him as a starting quarterback in the NFL no more, to be honest with you. Well, the Buccaneers are going to need a quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
I doubt it's Kyle Trask. The Commanders will probably need a quarterback. Maybe Daniel Jones play for the Commanders next year. But the Commanders going to have a new coach next year. Oh, maybe it's Wink Martindale and Daniel Jones.
And he brings Daniel Jones over with him.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Just doing one more stroll through. There's one more deal that came in. Rashad Fenton went to the Falcons.
I don't know who that is.
That's he's a cornerback from the Chiefs. Maybe there's one more out there, everybody.
All
Keep your fingers crossed. Maybe someone faxed it in right under the wire. Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys ain't make no moves. Jerry not a big trade deadline guy.
Jerry's winners for that, right? Winners for standing still.
Dallas is not. Herschel Walker trade obviously made the
Get off it quick.
I know, right?
Somewhere else, quick.
Hurry up, Corey. Hurry up, chase the subject. Herschel Walker trade made the Dallas Cowboys winners. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, but that's kind of like the only big time trade like that the Dallas Cowboys have ever made.
That wasn't trade deadline either. That was draft one, wasn't it? Was that trade deadline?
Herschel Walker started the season as the Cowboys quarterback. I'm running back that year.
Yeah.
So that might have been the in-season trade. That very well could have been the in-season trade. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not sure. But that was obviously a big moment in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, trading Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings and basically getting enough picks in return to build a Super Bowl, to build a dynasty, really.
Right. I got the Rams as losers for they just wasted Cam Akers. Really, guys got values for someone else.
Not a good look for the Rams. Interesting to see what happened there. Just so many things going to these trades and stuff like that. But that contract should be coming up on the end of that rookie deal. That's a nice contract to have.
Maybe Akers is hurt.
Maybe that's why they kept him, because it's a nice contract to have.
Maybe he's upset at the way they handled his industry. Who rushed who back for the Super Bowl last year. He probably shouldn't have been playing in the Super Bowl.
He shouldn't have been playing, period. Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe he's.
But
maybe
he wanted to
play.
I'm quite sure he wanted to play. But the organization's job is to protect you from yourself.
Right. I mean, maybe there's more damage than we know. Like maybe he's looking at someone like Todd Gurley, who arthritic knees, and maybe he's just like, there's actually scarring and structural damage.
Everybody in the NFL scouting community said that Todd Gurley is a one contract player, but the Rams said, "Oh no, we're going to give him the second one."
Yeah,
and then when it didn't work out, didn't try to pay him.
Dirty.
Crazy. Al Davis. Who was it that Al Davis tried not to pay? Shanahan? I think Al Davis tried not to pay Mike Shanahan.
So weird. That guy.
Yeah, Al Davis was, I tell you what, he was one of the people that made this league what it is, but he used to give the commissioner a time. Al Davis didn't play. And that brand is strong, that Oakland Raider brand.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Except they suck.
Yeah, exactly. Except they need Al Davis to come back and start hiring the head coaches again.
I don't know what's going on.
Al Davis hired Art Shell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Al Davis,
the first black head coach, was hired by Al Davis.
Al Davis,
He's a legend. He's an NFL legend. He's a Hall of Famer and a legend. One of the most influential people to ever be involved with this sport.
When I was growing up, though, it was kind of like, Al Davis is a joke. He's kind of like a George Steinbrenner kind of guy. But you look back, he did some stuff, man. I think people might look at Jerry Jones the same way eventually too.
I don't say. Listen, everybody is critical. Mainly Cowboy fans have been very critical of Jerry Jones, not me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You want somebody that's going to go out there and try to fight and sign players and do the right thing.
Yeah,
they haven't won a championship in a long time. I'm telling you, Cowboy fans, a life without Jerry Jones is probably something you don't want.
Where did Jason Garrett end up? Is he coaching high school somewhere?
On Football Night in America with Maria Taylor.
Good for him.
Yeah, good job. Hey, what was that you sent me yesterday? Amazon starting that sports network.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Bro, as soon as I saw Master Tez, I was like, next. I was like, next.
As our media reporter, you should be more on top of this, by the way.
I should be. I saw where they had Kerry Champion. They hired a lot of people that I didn't recognize none of those names, though. But we have to look at that. I have to pull that up during the break. But I saw Kerry Champion. I saw Master T. I just like, they could have done a better job than that.
It's, what it is? But it's Embassy Row. And Embassy Row has produced a lot of, they did Good Morning Football. They did a couple shows back in the day that I remember that I liked a lot, and I can't remember what they were. They do a lot of game shows, or they did. Embassy Row.
These are the people that's programming the Amazon Sports.
Yeah, I guess that they're the ones who are coming up with all these. Let me make sure I know I got this right. Bleacher Report hosts Embassy Row, the production company headed by Jeopardy executive producer Michael Davies, is producing the lineup.
Okay.
So Amazon's putting out basically a half a day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Here's the lineup. Oh yeah, well, let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll hit the lineup.
Yeah, I'll give my thoughts.
Yeah, give you a chance to warm up and come up with some thoughts and pick us.
And then we got a guest. We got a surprise.
Wait, we got a surprise on the other side of this too.
And then I probably want to run through the NBA board right quick too before we get out of here.
All right, we'll talk about Amazon tomorrow. Just go
No,
Google it.
I want to do Amazon. I want to get into it. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We're coming back with a surprise for us from our producer, Jared. And maybe we'll take a look at this Amazon stuff. It's very interesting. They got a show called Bonjour Sports Talk. So get ready. We'll be right back after this.
Stay tuned for sports.
Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Bettor Sports Network.
Joined now by Dave Eisman, co-founder of Jock Market. Dave, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Doing?
Thank you for sponsoring the show on the network and everything, man. We much appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have one of your I don't know what you should call him, not a sycophant really, maybe a disciple, maybe I don't know, John Legeza on once in a while, and he is like
he's on it,
like all in caps Jock Market, and like his enthusiasm for it. I mean, look, like I remember we had Jock Market sponsor one of the athletic shows a while ago too, so I was familiar with the game. But he is like, man, the proselytizer big time of your game.
Yeah, right from the jump. The second we first started talking to him, it was very clear it was a match. He got the game. It was like he's a big stock guy too, so the crossover between that and him making picks every day, it's really like a match, perfect match for us.
That's cool. That's what's up. Me and Nando, we've talked to. I mean, we've been doing shows for a long time. And I remember back in the day interviewing Nigel and Jason Robbins and all of that stuff. And one of the interesting things when we talked to Nigel was hearing about the story of FanDuel and how it kind of came about at South by Southwest. How did Jock Market come about? Where did the thought process come from? Like, what were you into at the time? What were you looking to do? How did Jock Market become to be the app that's on our phones today?
Yeah, no, great question. So, working with my co-founder Tyler at our previous company, we played a lot of DraftKings and FanDuel on our own, and obviously we liked it. We love playing, but figured there were other ways out there, other ways to play that would be more interesting. And we've also both been interested in investing for a long time, and it was kind of crazy that the stock market and sports concept hadn't really been. I mean, it'd been people had tried it before, but that it hadn't really worked. And then the daily fantasy spin really showed us an opportunity to make it work, where you can have an intrinsic value for those shares. So you have people coming and buying in shares, but if it's a perpetual market, the shares never pay out. It's kind of hard to figure out what they'll be worth. But in a daily market, you buy those shares, in the afternoon. By that evening, for the most part, they're going to pay out real cash. So you have an intrinsic value. I think this is going to be worth X dollars by the end of the night. So now I have a number I can come and pay for it. So that's really where we saw the opportunity. It's just a matter of making the game work within fantasy sports regulations and making it fun and interesting and give people the opportunity to make money by playing.
Who's in the Handshake Hall of Fame?
Bryce Harper,
Chris Jenner,
Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby.
I've never shooken Beyonce's hand.
Doug Flutie. I actually shook his hand.
Ric Flair and Mike Tyson, both of them.
Boy George from Culture Club.
Al Pacino on the street. It's coming together. It's coming together.
That's great. That's awesome.
Oprah would definitely be a Handshake Hall of Fame.
If I see like Gina Davis, I'm like, can I please take my picture shaking your hand?
That guy that comes and knocks on the player's door, David Baker.
Bo Jackson.
And Mike Breen as well. Love it. Our Handshake Hall of Fame is coming together pretty nicely, Nando.
This is actually, we've not been keeping good track of this either.
Good job.
That should, this is awesome. Thank you, Jared. That's great, man. Gina Davis. I think she's Handshake Hall of Famer. Call me crazy. All right, let's.
But not Gail King.
I don't think so, man.
Shout out to Gail King. So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon Sports Talk Network. I don't know when this is going to debut.
They say they don't know either.
Wonderful, but they got it all figured out. Bonjour Sports Talk. Madeline Burke and Ben Lyons. So Madeline Burke is the homie.
I like Madeline Burke a lot.
I like Madeline Burke too. Madeline Burke worked with her at SI, Cool Peoples, and then she went WFAN.
Yeah.
Like she did WF when they had to shake up with Carton. She got called in, and then they immediately they gave the show a year and they got rid of it.
Yeah, right.
I don't think that was fair to do that to them.
That was that 3-person show with
that was Madeline Burke,
CMB or whatever they called it.
Madeline Burke, was Chris Carlin on that show? Madeline Burke, Chris Carlin, and Bart Scott, was that the show?
Like I said, it was a CMB. Oh wait, you're thinking of
no,
Maggie
that's
Gray.
Maggie Gray. Yeah.
Whoops. Maybe you don't like Madeline Burke.
Well, Madeline Burke did have some time at WFAN too, though, right? No.
Maybe you're thinking of Maggie Gray.
Madeline
Listen, man, if you're
Burke.
going to take this media
you know
reporter
where I
thing
worked
seriously,
with Madeline Burke? No, I did work with Madeline Burke at SI. Yes.
All right. Okay.
We did a stint. Me and Madeline Burke. I worked with Madeline. I worked with Madeline Burke and Maggie Gray. You know what? We was having a conversation about the Panthers last week. Panthers athletic guy and Madeline Burke. I think the two of them came across my mind because I think they're like friendly or what. I don't want to rumors. They're like friendly or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're good. Put it like this: I work with Madeline Burke at SI. She's good people. She's a cool homie.
Stop there.
Let me just leave it at that. Shout out to Madeline Burke and Maggie Gray.
All right. Yeah, both of them. Great. I don't know much about Ben Lyons.
I don't know much about Ben Lyons either. From noon to 2 is
it's a weird name though. Wait, why would you call it Bonjour Sports Talk? I'm not going to question it. It's just it's a memorable name. How about that?
Ben Lyons is the son of critic Jeffrey Lyons, if I'm not mistaken. That's what Jared says.
All right.
From noon to 2, the Carry Champion Show. That's a good time to take a nap.
Oh, no, he didn't go there.
No, wait a minute. From noon to 2 is better stuff. Wait, it's like maybe that's like a rerun of First Take, or maybe that's Scanning and Ship.
Yeah.
And then from 2 to 4, Sports Talk Game Breakers, comedians, Atan Levine and Drexton Clemens. 2 comedians.
Yeah, that's who we're going up against. That's our competition.
We're going to smoke them.
I think so.
And
we'll definitely be smoking something on Amazon.
And then from 4 to 5, from the desk of Master T, hosted by Nando. Me and you have chatted about this gentleman before.
We have. He's also the son of Jeffrey Lyons.
So Master Tez had the concept of the pool hall. Remember the pool hall YouTube Bleacher Report show?
Yeah.
Where he would do untold or unscripted or NFL stories untold, whatever, and they would shoot pool and tell the backstories. Interesting idea, interesting concept. They had a couple good episodes, right? But then like the next year, he was like, I don't see, when it was the pandemic, I don't see how they can be playing football. It's so dangerous. That's how you make money, son. On football. It's literally how you get paid, is because of football. Why would you want it to go away?
Yep.
After that, Nando, it was too much for me.
Yeah.
I think I still follow him, but I'm like, I can't. He's a sports betting guy too.
Isn't everybody?
He's a big sports betting guy.
Impress me. You impress me if you're a cards guy. You do not. Nobody
doubt.
like a sports betting guy. Like, okay, great. Like that dude with a podcast who 100 people listen to, and not to knock that at all. I'm just saying is sponsored by DraftKings. You know what I mean? Like and all of a sudden he's a sports betting guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's a sports betting guy. Yeah.
When Ja was in the second round of the NCAA tournament, he went down there and did some reporting, you know what I'm saying, with the family. He was with the family and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was one of the first people to interview my man T. So that was cool. But just the way he turned so quickly after basically making a living on the NFL. Yeah. I didn't like how that went down.
Right.
And from 5 to 6, you got the Power Hour hosted by Stubbs. I'm not familiar with Stubbs.
I don't know Stubbs either. Should I Google?
Maybe Google Stubbs and see what that is.
All right.
And then they have a highlights hour, highlighting an hour from the previous day, from the previous program in that day.
That's fine.
They could throw me there. You know what I'm saying? I'll rock that joint. I give them a pregame show. You know what I'm saying? And then 7 to 8 is the backup plan with Hannah. I don't want to mispronounce her last name, and Jason Spells, featuring clips from the day's shows and more sports and pop culture discussions. So that's like a little. So really from 6 to 8, they don't really have nothing. Well, to be honest with you, after Madeline Burke and Ben Lyons go off,
I still can't figure out who Stubbs is. I can't figure out a way to search for Stubbs because everything that shows up is a barbecue place.
Yeah,
Stubbs sports person.
I don't know. Stubbs, Amazon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess Renee Stubbs, Australian tennis player. All right, this is gonna be a problem.
Shout out to Amazon though for getting
Jalen, who's Stubbs?
I know, right?
Help.
Shout out to Amazon for getting into business.
I mean, look, they're doing something different, right?
Yeah, they're trying.
I don't know who
Jalen
Stubbs
is like
is,
Stubbs.
though.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. Stubbs is going to be Google trending himself. I mean, like, wow, why did I have this weird spike at 4:39 p.m. yesterday? I think you'd like Hannah Obstachuk, though. She's got a good resume. Fox Sports, CBS Sports Line, Tennis Channel, Entertainment Tonight.
Oh, she does. She's been around. That's good.
She could be all right. We'll see.
Yeah,
anyway,
no doubt.
Maybe overnight could be us.
We'll hop on there, rock that joint. I want to give a rest in peace shout out to Offset. You know what I'm saying?
No, that was crazy.
Of the music group Migos, tragically and senselessly murdered last night. Gotta do a better job. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible. 28 years old. You know what I mean? So
they had pictures on TMZ. Someone took a video. Someone took a video. Like how do you stand there and take a video instead of like rushing to help? I mean, that Boston Marathon bombing video was the same thing. Like some dude just walking around and people were interviewed on CNN and no one's like, "Hey asshole, why didn't you like go help someone?" Instead of just taking a video of people,
they got the video that I haven't seen it, right? Because I wanted to avoid it. And I've scrolled a couple places and had to like scroll faster to avoid it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just bad business. That's bad culture. That's bad business. Like that man has children, family, parents, you know what I'm saying? Co-workers, friends. And the last image they're going to see of him is him bleeding out.
Yeah.
Like, that's bad business. I understand places like TMZ and the Shade Room, they're in that clickbait business to do stuff like that. So I kind of understand that. But the person who sent that, who actually recorded that and thought it'd be a good idea to put that on social media, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's terrible.
Agree. That was I don't know, man. That's just
that's not good business, no.
And now they got money. Hopefully they just the money they fumble it away, you know?
Yeah, hopefully so. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not a nice thing to do. So I don't like that. But anyway, what else we got? I don't want to bring the show down, but I just had to, give the young man a shout out. We're losing too many of our artists stupidly. So there goes that.
Yeah. Still waiting on Stubbs.
What we got tonight? We got Bulls and Nets.
That'll be interesting.
Maybe a win-win for the Gipper.
Who's their interim coach? Who's the Nets interim coach?
I don't know, but I feel like the Nets. Who did I see sitting on the Nets bench the other night? I don't know. Nets backup coaches. I don't know who the Nets interim coach would be.
D'Antoni? Well, no, D'Antoni's gone. Oh, yeah, right. The World Series. We went an hour and 40. Like, I mean, I don't want to call it irrelevant, but I guess like it might be irrelevant. Maybe you should do some day games. Wouldn't hurt.
Let me see Nets coaching staff. Is Jock Vaughn on the Nets coaching staff?
Oh yeah, that's who it is. Jock Vaughn's the interim.
Jock
coach.
Vaughn. Yeah, Jock Vaughn. He did good. Wait a minute. Did Jock Vaughn coach him in the bubble? Jock Vaughn coached somebody in the bubble.
I think it was him. I think maybe when Kidd left, Jock Vaughn took over. Is that right?
Maybe something like that. I know Jock Vaughn had a nice run with a team in the bubble, if I'm not mistaken.
Can we find out? Ooh, this is a very Google happy day today.
I know, right? Jock Vaughn.
We need to hire an intern.
He's interim coach at Brooklyn Nets. That didn't take long.
I'm still trying to find out who Stubbs is.
I know. We got a lot going on. What's going on? What are you doing, Jalen? My goodness.
Yeah, just Stubbs. That's the last we heard of. Jalen's probably down a wormhole, just like how do I figure out who the Stubbs person is?
Coaching tenure, career information, playing career as a player, as a coach. Brooklyn Nets interim. He's been with Brooklyn since 2016. So yeah, he coached Brooklyn in the in the bubble. Yeah, Vaughn coached the Magic. Yeah, he probably coached the Nets in the bubble. Yeah, so there you go right there.
I thought I got close for a second. There's something called Stubbs and Wooten which I thought was a podcast, but it's actually a brand of shoes. Not a podcast. That's Stubbs and Wooten.
All right. So that's not it right there.
All right.
So that's it. So that's what we got. NBA. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You were on that.
Could be a win-win for the Gipper, right? Nash going addition by subtraction. But if the Bulls are healthy, they are a better team than. So tonight, the Bulls have Kobe White, DeSumo, and Zach LaVine all listed as day-to-day. Ben Simmons is out for the Nets tonight. If I got in on this one, I would go with the Chicago Bulls.
Why is Simmons out?
Probably a rest day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just probably, don't want to. I'm not a Ben Simmons guy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone is. Like, I feel like
I don't want to get personal. So I just leave it alone.
We should take up his cause.
We should. So that'd be somebody. Tuesday night's not a great slate. The Heat and the Warriors down in South Beach. Now, the Heat are only 2-5. They're not good, right? The problem is, I feel like Golden State been on the road since the season started. So we look at the schedule. This is the first day of November. So Golden State is playing their This is the Warriors' third straight road game. So they left the West Coast. That was 2 games. So they started in Charlotte, right?
Yep.
Then they went to Detroit. Back-to-back nights, Charlotte, Detroit. And then they had an off day, a travel day, and they come back to the East Coast to go to Miami. Now, the South Beach flu is real, right? But here's the deal. The Golden State Warriors, South Beach flu is irrelevant. See, because in Golden State, you already got granddaddies on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got Draymond Green. You got Steph Curry, a family man. You know what I'm saying? You got Klay Thompson. Can't get around as good as he used to. See, I don't see the Warriors getting South Beach flu. Normally,
they're professionals. They're pro.
They're pros.
Yeah.
So I would take that because I don't think the Miami Heat are that good. It's a tough schedule spot for the Warriors, but I think they get to 500 tonight and beat the Miami Heat. Timberwolves and Suns. I would lay the 4 with the Suns. Timberwolves starting to play better now. Thunder and Magic. Oklahoma City laying 3 at home. It's no way you can lay the number with Oklahoma City. So tonight, I would maybe do a Warriors-Suns money line parlay. If I'm feeling, lucky, I'll throw the Bulls in there. But I think the Warriors and Phoenix is who I like NBA-wise tonight. Who's getting the start for the World Series games tonight? You got this game's in Philadelphia. You got McCullers and Suarez, Nando.
I mean, there's a whole, I don't know if it's controversy now, but they are saying how like the Phillies benefit from this. Their pitchers are going to benefit from this.
How?
From the delay. I got more rest,
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I guess it makes sense.
I know the Astros not talking about somebody benefiting from something.
There was that Framber Valdez thing that like we didn't even get. I think it happened, when we were on the show.
Yeah.
Adjusting and wiping things. Here we go. Oh, so it is Renee Stubbs, Australian tennis player Renee Stubbs. They just left her name out, I guess, in the press release. 51-year-old former Australian tennis. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. Give them that.
Yeah. I know I give them that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't.
If they didn't have Master Tez in there, and someone else, I think we'd be more openly embracing this.
I can see that.
But the fact they put him in there kind of speaks to like that's the kind of person you're filling these shows with.
It makes it feel real corporate. But what do you expect from Amazon?
I don't know. Like it's I don't know.
Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah, we gotta go. That's right. Sorry, I almost forgot. Garrett Wilson autographed full size. Go ahead.
To help each other.
Garrett Wilson autographed full size Jets football helmet can be yours thanks to gettingthegame.com and Bettor Sports Network. All you got to do is go to Twitter, basically follow Bettor Sports Network on Twitter, and retweet the tweet that's pinned up top. That's it. We're not going to ask you to call in. You don't have to say anything to us. You don't have to hit the fun button. We appreciate when you hit the fun button. You don't have to hit the fun button. Go to Twitter, retweet it, follow. And then Rick Camlin's going to pick a winner 9 Eastern tonight. It's a Garrett Wilson autographed full-size Jets football helmet from getting the game. I mean, that's no joke. That's like a very hot young football player who's only going to get better.
He's a good player too. He's a good player. He makes timely plays. You can tell by the way he plays the game. I think he's going to be a special player for the New York Jets. So I am a Garrett Wilson supporter. So good luck to you guys going after that Garrett Wilson helmet. 2 plays for tonight. I'm going to go with Ball State and Maction, and I'll probably go ahead and hop on the Miami Heat. The Golden State Warriors as well, down there in South Beach tonight. That'll be my action for the night, Nando.
I'm not really doing anything now that I have a $5 future on TCU. I'm pretty sated.
Yeah, you're good. Your college football season's over for you, Nando.
I know. I got to run my. You know what? I think I might put something on James Mitchell. A couple teams that I don't have a great tight end. He's the guy who should be taking over from Hawkinson in Detroit. I don't know, what that actually means, but one of our writers was kind of just very much like it's James Mitchell's time now. So I just kind of follow. If you follow the Lions, I trust you over like just some random dude on Twitter who writes fantasy. So I think James Mitchell is going to be the guy. I don't know. Gene Clemens did our live blog this morning, the Waiver Wire live blog, and he was very much like every answer was like Kadarius Toney. And
wow, he's all in, huh?
He knows. I mean, like he's a good scout and he knows schemes. He's a high school football coach. He can read what's going on the fields. On the field,
we should get him tomorrow to do some more action with him tomorrow and get some of his thoughts.
That'd be great.
He's available.
I can ask.
We got Mayo tomorrow. We don't know if we have the time. I think we got somebody else tomorrow too.
Well, we get the guy from Green Screens, I think, tomorrow.
The college basketball guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe Thursday.
Maybe somebody Thursday. We'll figure it out. Put it like that.
All right.
We don't have the show. We don't have to have the show meeting on air.
No. Let's talk about what you said at 3:14
right?
in the show, Corey. I gotta know. I guess I took exception.
So we got Mike Holland and Mayo tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a packed show.
We don't have much time, so we'll save. We can go like quickly. College football playoff, bang, 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 and then we'll get to the other stuff too. Interesting to get ready to talk some college hoops. Obviously, big college basketball fan growing up in the Bronx. That college basketball was life for us back in those days. You know what I'm saying? Especially going to St. Raymond's High School for boys and being so closely attached to, big time college basketball with some of the cats that was coming out of there. Felipe Lopez being a part of that rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
I remember Felipe Lopez really well.
Yeah, I remember him really well also. You know what I'm saying? It was right there. Had a front row seat for many of those legendary matchups in Felipe Lopez in high school. And see Felipe Lopez at Madison Square Garden a couple of times too. He's a matter of fact, Felipe Lopez. I may have Felipe Lopez email address or telephone number somewhere.
Call him up.
We might be able to get him on the show. I think I do have Felipe's information somewhere.
Maybe he could be our media reporter.
I know, right?
You know who Janae Stubbs was.
Papi, let me tell you, Papi. Maria, tell her, Papi. I don't know. Papi, who is Stubbs, Papi? I don't know Stubbs, Papi.
Where's Jalen?
Jalen, what's going on, Papi? If you want to watch the story on Felipe Lopez, ESPN 30 for 30, The Dominican Dream will tell you the story of Felipe Lopez coming to the Dominican Republic and becoming a high school basketball legend in New York City, and then not having the big, great NBA career that many expected. But Felipe Lopez, still a basketball statesman to this day. So shout out to Felipe Lopez. It was cool coming up in that.
Yeah, that was my golden age of basketball fandom too.
There you go. That's when Nando was in there.
Talk whatever you want about then.
I know, right? That was some great teams, some great games. St. John's actually made a little run. Man, I feel another team I feel bad for is St. John's. Like, bro, when is St. John's gonna be relevant again?
I don't know.
Like, at least Syracuse has stayed relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Syracuse is still go to the tournament. They still playing big games. They've been to the Final Four. They make runs in the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
That continuity with the coach, man.
St. John's and Georgetown is just nothing.
Well, and
the thing with Georgetown is you still now obviously respect to the late great John Thompson, but it's like he's still hovering over that program.
Well, his son's the coach, right?
Well, Patrick Ewing's the coach.
Patrick Ewing's the coach, right?
Yeah, so it's the same thing. They gotta get off that Thompson tree. They gotta start fresh at Georgetown.
Yeah. Maybe Patrick Ewing goes to St. John's.
Kevin Durant never even got a letter from Georgetown. They didn't even try to get him. He was in their backyard.
Yeah.
So you hate to see that happen to Big East basketball, but
that's the
I'd be
problem
interested
too.
to talk about it tomorrow.
Big East is, man, when Boston College ruined the Big East and then Syracuse left, that's when I stopped caring.
Yeah, they killed it.
How would you do that, man? That was like a pillar of my childhood, the Big East.
Because of college football. There's too much money in college football.
Yeah.
That's what it is. College football is a major business. And when those networks popped up, so you put a network, a Big Ten network, you got to get that network in homes.
Right.
So you want to get that network in the New York City market. So how do you do that? You go get Syracuse, or well, not the Big Ten, but you go get Rutgers, and then you go get, so when college football started putting together these television networks, they've really killed the Big East, you know what I'm saying? But right now, top 10, UNC, Gonzaga, Houston, who's a phenomenal basketball team, AAU Haven, Kentucky, Kansas, Baylor, Duke, UCLA, Creighton, and Arkansas are the top 10 coming into the season. So you got the Blue Bloods up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how about Creighton?
I've had a lot of people, Nando, mention you want to put a couple dollars on the team to win the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Creighton.
Really?
Yes.
We get Cole Huff. Cole Huff played for Creighton.
Stop playing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I think he transferred out of Nevada to Creighton, and then went to G League and then went overseas.
Okay.
And now he's a writer/editor.
Look at that. Cole Huff.
Great
I wonder
dude.
if he studied media in college.
We can ask him. I think he did.
Where's Creighton at? In the Midwest somewhere, right?
Nebraska, right?
It's in the. Oh, really?
I want to say yes. Jalen usually on top of this stuff.
Yeah, what's going on, Jay? Oh, he's working. I'm sorry. He said he's working.
He's tweeting.
Tweeting out stuff for BSN.
Why doesn't he tweet our answers? That would get people interested in the show.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you tweet us and let us know who Stubbs is?
Yeah, come on. Like, we already talked about the Jeff Wilson trade, man.
Oh, I want to say Omaha. Okay, Omaha in Nebraska. All right,
is
cool.
It? Yes, Omaha. All right, nice.
So that's where Creighton is at. I've never been to Nebraska before.
No, I haven't either. I don't think I've ever flown over Nebraska. Maybe we should do a show from there.
Well, it would have to be a Creighton game. What else would be going on there?
Yeah, let's go. Me and Cole Huff. We'll go to a
Nebraska football is terrible. Maybe we can do a pre-championship week. I'm sure Creighton has a big game versus somebody at some point this year, and we can go out there and see what's going on.
Is Creighton Big East? The rebuilt Big East?
Creighton is the part of the new Big East.
Yeah, but then St. John's and Georgetown, they're the Atlantic.
They play in the Maui Invitational. They go to Texas, the Big East Big 12 battle. They go to Texas. So that's a big game right there. They're home, Arizona State, Marquette, Butler, DePaul. You go into January. You got St. John's.
There you go.
Yeah, St. John's, Xavier, Villanova. That's going to be the big game. That's it. Saturday, February 2nd, the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Villanova and Creighton. Now, here's the problem.
Villanova's so bland.
We got to go to the Super Bowl. We can't miss the Super Bowl to go to Villanova and Creighton, Nando.
We'll stop over on the. Where's the Super Bowl? Arizona?
Oh, you're right. Good job.
Oh, we got to go. We only got 20 seconds left. We got to go. We got to
get out of here.
Go.
We're planning the show. Go ahead.
That's right.
Nando, Finsky and Ron next. The Follicle Challenge show is next.
Go in a Garrett Wilson helmet.